Alright, so what I have here is a parallel example that will help you solve problem number 8. So it says this, the growth rate of the coronavirus was, coronavirus, that's redundant. Let's scratch out that one virus, but was 2 every 6 days, where t is the number of days. Actually, just scratch that out. Oh, mistakes all over the place. Scratch that out, where d is the number of days. If it started as 83 people infected in China, and the growth rate could be modeled by the function f of x equals 83, remember that's our starting value, parentheses 2, remember that's our growth rate, raised up to the power of 1/6 d, how many days did it take to reach 200,000 people? So in a word problem like this, where they give you this number and they give you this function, they're essentially asking you to determine, is 200,000 the input, or is it in fact the output? Now in this case, it is going to be our output. So we can write 200,000 is equal to 83 times 2 to the power of 1/6 d. So essentially, because we have this letter d, our variable, up in the exponent, at some point we're probably going to have to use a logarithm to get it down. In order to do that though, first we have to get rid of this coefficient of 83. Notice the 83 and the 2 are side by side. That means that they are being multiplied. Good. And so we will divide both sides by 83. So 200,000 divided by 83 will in fact give us 2,409.64. And this will equal 2 to the power of 1/6 d. Now at this point, remember we have our variable up in our exponent, so how do you get a variable out of an exponent? Well, we want to take the log of both sides. And so we write log of 2,409.64 is equal to 1/6 d log base 2. Now here's what we'll do in this case. I want you to divide both sides by the log of 2, and we'll divide this side by the log of 2 as well. And so we wind up with this. We wind up with the log, here I'll just draw a little divider here, the log, and remember anything that's in the denominator, that actually becomes the base. So log base 2 of 2,409.64 is equal to 1/6 d. So at this point, it's clearly becoming a much easier problem. Now, I've embedded a link at the top of problem number 8 that will take you to a log calculator. In that log calculator, you can only put in this side right here. So it has log, and where you have the little base, you'll put 2, and then of course you'll put 2,409.64. And it turns out that is actually 11.23 is equal to 1/6 d. Well, how do you get rid of 1/6? We know that in order to get rid of any fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal, which is 6/1, times, but what is 6/1 really? It's just 6. And so when I do 6 times 11.23, we should get 67.38 is equal to d. So the question becomes, if the coronavirus was spreading at this growth rate of 2 every 6 days, and it started with 83 people, how long would it take to get to 200,000 people infected? And the answer is, it would take 67.38 days. Alright? Well, I hope this helps you out with problem number 8, and yeah, good luck.